Hello, this is Tim Bryce with the National Weather Service in El Paso. This is a special web briefing for the significant wind event we're expecting Sunday, also known as Mother's Day. This web briefing was recorded on May 10th, 2014. Alright, what are we expecting on Sunday? We're expecting strong winds to develop across the area. We're expecting winds of 35 to 45 miles an hour in both the Gila and Sacramento Mountains and along the east slopes of mountains like the Organs and the Franklin Mountains. The rest of the lowlands, places like Lordsburg, Deming, Las Cruces, Truth or Consequences, we're expecting winds of 30 to 40 miles an hour in the lowlands. We can expect wind gusts to over 60 miles an hour. Of course, there'll be blowing dust, and with that blowing dust will come road closures, and also it's going to be very dry, so there'll be a very high fire danger tomorrow. So this is a graphic showing what we're expecting. Basically, in the lowlands, 30 to 40 mile an hour winds with lots of blowing dust. In the higher terrain and along the east slopes of various mountains, we're expecting wind speeds of 35 to 45 miles an hour. Again, blowing dust will cause road closures, and we will have that critical fire weather conditions. Here's another graphic kind of just showing where we're expecting possible road closures from Lordsburg to Deming, and in those areas in Luna and Hidalgo County. Blowing dust across most of the lowlands, and even some possibly damaging winds just east of the Organs and the Franklin Mountains. What's causing all of this? Well, basically this is what the weather map will look like Sunday afternoon. You'll have deep area of low pressure at the surface in the Texas Panhandle and a upper level area of low pressure right at the Four Corners. And like I like to tell people, whenever lots of lines pack together on a weather map, that's where the weather is going to happen. And as you can see, the yellow lines there on the map show surface pressure, and you can see that they are packed very nicely across all of New Mexico, and that's what's going to really drive these winds tomorrow. So we'll be expecting very strong winds to develop by late morning or around noon, and then just get stronger as we go through the day on Sunday. Some of the uncertainties: the strength of the winds on Sunday. What we're calling it is a high-end wind advisory for the lowlands versus a high wind warning. And it could push into that warning criteria, or the mountains may not quite reach warning criteria. So it's right on the edge there, but that's the way we're going to break it down. Is the higher terrain and east slopes will have the warning level winds, which is basically 35 to 45 miles an hour, and the rest of the lowlands will have a high-end wind advisory, which is 30 to 40 mile an hour winds. Always, amount of blowing dust is a little questionable, though in the last several wind events we've had plenty of blowing dust. So what's going to be out? Well, we have a high wind warning for the Gila region, for the Sacramento Mountains, and for the east slopes of the Organs and Franklin Mountains. We'll have a wind advisory in effect for the rest of the lowlands. We'll have a red flag warning in effect for most of the area on Sunday. Other possible watches and warnings for Sunday will be a blowing dust advisory. We'll just have to see once the dust gets up and going which way it goes and how thick it is it going to be. So once again, a summary of expected events. We'll see very strong gusty winds that could cause some minor structural damage, especially on the east slopes of area terrain and in the mountains. Blowing dust will likely cause hazardous driving conditions and possible road closures, especially on the roads west and south of Las Cruces. Airport operations will be affected, especially with the lower visibilities. If you're planning cookouts and barbecues or other outdoor activities tomorrow, that'll be discouraged because of the high fire danger. And finally, any Mother's Day activities, if you're going out to the park, if you're planning a picnic, you're going to probably need an alternate plan, and preferably indoors. So, thank you for joining me. As always, you can get the latest information from our website, weather.gov/El Paso, or find us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube.